welcome to Bastion Land Broadcasting, returning from I don't want to say a well-earned break, but certainly a well-needed break from streaming. It's been 4 weeks since the last stream, and I've enjoyed the break. I'm hoping that you've all enjoyed not having to watch these streams. We're coming back in with an absolute marathon session, which could take anywhere between an hour and many hours. So to give you a little bit of background, way back in July, two of the team that run the Bastion and Discord server, Wizard Lizard and XVIII, they decided to set up a game jam based around Electric Bastion Land. They said to me, like, do you want to be involved? I said, yeah, this is great, like, go ahead. But they very much did all the work on that, so I want to make sure that's clear. I'm taking no credit for any of this. They have put in all the hard work of getting this together, and the people who have entered, who have submitted entries, have done all the hard work writing this. So this is very much me sitting here on my deck chair, just watching other people work really hard. And I joked on the tweet that I was going to be offering lots of harsh criticism. As much as I would love to really lay into all these people that are, however they are, they're inspired by something I've made. Unfortunately, I doubt we're going to have much time for much criticism at all. So it is going to be much more in the vein of those of you who saw the Dissident Whispers read-through I did. It's going to be in that kind of style where we have perhaps speed rather than quality, because there's 61 entries. In fact, I think there's 62 because I've got a late entry that was sent my way. So I've even got an unofficial entry in there. I'm taking my hoodie off because I'm already feeling the burn from this exertion. I have a coffee and the traditional Tuesday night ginger beer, but it's I'm concerned I might need to look at extra hydration options as we go through. So obviously I've wasted a load of time wittering away at the start. I will be engaging with the chat as usual, so if you do have any questions that you've been waiting 4 weeks to ask me, then by all means ask them in the chat, and I will do my best to get to them. But I am going to be on a bit of a deadline to try and get through all 60 whatever of these. So without any more messing around, let's crack on. So here we go. You can download all of these games. Most of them are free or have community copies. Some of them are paid. Thank you to those of you who had paid entries that sent me a copy so that I could look through it on here. That's much appreciated. Yeah, if you just search for Eclectic Bastion Jam, but it's itch.io/jam/Eclectic Bastion Jam. You can go on here and you can see all the submissions here. Now, I've tried really hard to not look at these. I'm blurring my eyes now as I look at this page. I've tried really hard not to look because I wanted to do like a blind read through. I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea. But I also didn't want to interfere with the process, if you like. I wanted to see what people came up with on their own. I didn't want to look at something and say, I don't feel like this is really in the spirit of Bastionland, or I don't see how this connects to the jam. So I'm not here to tell people whether or not their game fits. I think if you think it fits, it fits. I'm just here to look through, see if I can pick out some highlights, see if I can say something nice about every entry. I'm going to apologise now for everybody that I'm going to miscredit, because I can only go off the credits that are in the document here. I'm not going to also have your itch page up, so I will try and give credit to each document as I go. So we are on 9:04. Let me have the first drink of the night before we get started. I'm very aware that this whole drinking thing on the stream is considered a bit of a faux pas sometimes. I've seen more professional stream people than me having a straw to minimize the audio-visual sensation of both seeing my mouth wide open over a glass and also hearing me slurp down a load of ginger beer. I will be doing my best to drink in a sensible and respectful manner. Now that I've wasted a minute talking about my drinking method, let's get on with the jam. So, in alphabetical order by file name. So, I don't know who did this yet, but whoever has done this, well done. You rather cleverly named your file beginning with the number 1. So you're good. This is 112 Loathsome High School Stereotypes, a Mystic Punks RPG character creation supplement. So I was anticipating, because with Electric Bastion and so much of it is the characters, I'm anticipating a lot of character stuff here, like a lot of failed careers. We'll see. So this is by Jason Johns, including shitty layout. Blah blah blah. Yeah, TLDR. So, like I said, I'm gonna be doing a very quick overview of these. So I'm gonna assume that this is exactly what it sounds like. Yeah, you're playing like high school stereotypes, like the failed careers in Electric Bastion. So let's get to some of them. 112? Like I read it in the title. 42 pages? Right, okay. You're not making this easy for me, Jason. Like I've got 60 other books to read through here. So what better way to do this than roll some up randomly? I'm not gonna. Let's just get this ready. I'm gonna need a D100 for this. Oh, come on, Google, give me a D100. Here we go. 76. So maybe my loathsome high school background, I've already forgotten the number. 76 would give me a cryptid chaser. Hunting and angling, so many mundane beasts prepared you to stalk. Yeah, let me start again. Hunting and angling, so many mundane beasts prepared you to stalk prey beyond the ken of anyone. Okay, not bad. Give me another one. 10 and 7, so that's going to be 7. 1980s Wednesday's child. After the party went dark, you embraced the night. Post-punk, industrial, and dark wave droned as you sipped absinthe from a Grand Pontarlier glass and smoked hashish from a ridiculously overwrought water pipe. You bragged about puffing on opium, but never really chased the dragon because junkies are so ew. Okay, cool. I like it. So I'm on board with this. This is a strong start. And I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to go too far into like my expectations, but this has already kind of exceeded my expectations because I sort of think about what I would do if I was contributing to this, and this is more work than I would have put into it. So it's a low bar to meet, and there we go. So that is the first entry. That is 112 loathsome high school stereotypes. Number 2, a guide to Bastion. Now, some of these, I'm pretty sure this one came with a map, but in the interest of getting through all this, I just downloaded what looked like the main PDF of all these documents. So apologies if I've missed some crucial elements of your entry, but I will be trying. How was the audio on that swig there? Was that respectful? Bastion, a friendly guide to the most electric city. Well, at least one of its iterations. Nice. The double-edged sword of this whole route mapping thing is people like really latch onto it because that sort of metro map, such a powerful image. People do latch onto it, but basically, people do it a lot better than me. And yes, that should spur me on to be better. And maybe one day it will, but for now, I just look at it and I'm like, oh wow, why have you gone to make this so good? I like the small print. This is again with the layout as well. Like this layout is incredible for like a free, I can't remember which ones were paid, but I think this was a free Game Jam product. It's fantastic. So we've got basically a borough of Bastion. I like that it's divided into little sub-boroughs as well. This is great. I could see printing this and just having it handy. It's a very good 12 pages. Who's this? Like, I've not given any credit. There's no credits. It was also listen, if you're gonna put JBFH, he also made the map and the layout of this document. The author would like, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't work out. Jean-Baptiste Tilch, I think. There we go. There are much better credits available on the actual itch pages. So this is just a straight up borough presented in an awesome way. It's got a sock. You can't see the sock because of me, but it's got a sock in one corner and an octopus in the other. So that's great. There's a lot of care gone into this. It's brilliant. Download it. All about the gum. I like the way this is going already. So this is by Marcello Sepulveda. Illustrations and layout by Sebastian Gonzalez. We've got a nice small set of tables for gum. Mixing gum. Ooh, dangerous game, surely. So this is going into rare flavors of gum. Gum with unusual functions. I like sucker punch gum that lets you have like a surprise round. So if you can trick someone into having a piece of gum, you can get the drop on them. Oh, yeah, awesome. Oh, rope. Again, I see things like this. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Because I had gum in the game because one of the main reasons I wanted to have gum, well, two reasons really. It was that gum is a very modern. People, yeah. So, Tall Tarrier says, "Don't worry about pronouncing my last name when you get to it. Santiago is just fine. I will try. I'm sorry. I can't stop myself. But you are free to laugh at me and tell me that I'm awful." So with the gum, it was both to sort of make it feel like a modern world, because gum is, I think of gum as a very modern thing. I'm sure they had gum in like ancient Egypt or something. They used to chew on sap or whatever, but like properly little sticks of flavored chewing gum. I like that it made the world feel modern, and I like that it could be used for hijinks, like sticking things to other things. It's like everyone's got a little bit of glue that they can use. But yeah, stretching the gum out like a rope is great. This is cool. I could sit here and read all of this, but we have not got the time. Anna X66. This is a 43-page entry, and wow, is this art? Like this art can't be like bespoke art for this project, surely. All text was created by Scablands Press. All art is copyright by Hera 2020. I'm just going to skip to the end in case I can see a bit more. No. I'm very, very interested in this artwork and where it came from. Our fathers are dead. Our mothers are machines. I like it. Anna X66 is an RPG for 2 to 6 players aged 18 and up. It takes some okay rules, changing the setting to a sci-fi wasteland. Character creation is a bit more involved, and there are some special maps that are important. So principles, everything is breaking down. Past societies are always present somehow. People have strange ways, rituals and words. Humanity wants alternately to cling together and to destroy and fall apart. Yeah, this is cool. So it's a sci-fi game based around Electric Bastion and mechanics, I guess. One player is the facilitator. I like the word facilitator. I very nearly used that instead of conductor, but conductor I couldn't resist the like electric thing and the sort of train conductor connection. But facilitator, I think, is a good word. to use. Let's get to the meat, because so it's a game about exploration. It's a game about providing aid to settlements, establishing roads. So yeah, it's like a post-apocalyptic kind of rebuilding society. Now let's do the bit that we want, which is create a character. Roll your pattern. 1d6, consult the chart. Your pattern will narrow your type and background. Okay. You know what? In the interest of quickness, I'm not gonna do the entire character creation process, but I'm gonna look through and find bits I like. But I already think this is looking really cool, and I would love to give this a go. Nice. Hate breed. It's got some nice sort of implied setting through things like you are a void child, you return from the far side of space, and what more do you need to know? Nothing. Cool. Well, this is one that I could spend more time on, but I'm gonna jump through it and try and get. Whoa! It's got like a whole world as well. It's going to be quite frustrating to watch me just like blasting through this, but as you can see, there's like maps, key locations. So 43 pages. This is like, what was it? Was Into the Odd like 48 pages? So this is like almost like an alternative Into the Odd kind of sized game. And again, I can't remember which ones were paid, but even the paid ones were extremely cheap. So yeah, this is cool. Awesome. So as this was loading up, I was about to say, well, I'll tell you after this one because it kind of links in with what I was thinking. A Bastion swap meet. Who are you? Oh, no credit. I'm sorry. I can't credit you, whoever created this. You know what? We're better than that. I'm going to go out of my way to find who did it. Bastion swap meet by Tukarf. No image, no credit. That's a minimalist approach if ever I saw one. You gotta respect it. Bastion swap meet. It's a swap day at market. Improvised stalls fill the streets and deals fill the air. There's treasure to be found. So it's just a load of oddities, I would guess. Which, although compared to like the last entry, which was like a million, like a jeweled thing, this is very much like, here's some stuff for you to use right now, which I am totally on board with. Because these oddities, already they just read like the sort of thing that I would enjoy using and the sort of things that I'd make myself. Because one of the measures of a good oddity, I think, in Into the Odd or Electric Bastion Land is, if you read it, does it make sense to someone who hasn't played the game before? So a tiny portable brass still, which can make a tiny bottle of booze, explodes violently if shaken during the distillation process. So you don't need to know anything about the game here. It just gets you excited and gets you thinking about it. Cosmic Orrery has entered like 8 different things. I did notice that as I was going through. That makes me pretty safe that if I can't tell who made something, I'm just going to say it's Cosmic Orrery. Awesome. And wow, good to see we've got so many people in the chat. It's nice to be having support as I work through this marathon. I have to say, I'm not making incredibly fast progress, but if this needs to go on through the night, then so be it. Upper West Gliss. This font is going to test my eyesight as an old man. Every great city has its artists, and they often gather, live together, and feed off one another, literally, in pursuit of their passion. In the case of Bastion, such a gathering takes place in the Upper West Gliss district. And I will very carefully read some of these at the Cunefficient Gallery. Art of all kind hangs on its walls and sits on display at the Cunefficient Gallery. But for those lucky few, much more is to be found in the large, supposedly impregnable subterranean vaults. Awesome. So we've got like a borough, and it's not. And I like that it's not just. Again, when I say not under the route map, I knew that there were going to be entries with the route map, but I was also interested to see people doing a different method. I don't know who this is, so let's have a look. Upper West Gliss, Third Dog. Third Dog is responsible for this, so good work. Beneath the Living Stars. Let's hide myself here. Beneath the living stars, a city grows, too big to measure. Beneath the living stars, the city spreads its roots. The city spreads. Beneath the living stars, Bastion spreads its wings and Bastion spreads. Beneath the living stars lie 5 more failed careers of the people of the city. Bastion, the only city that matters. Just practicing for my voice actor career that I'm working towards. Santiago Ureña. I can pronounce this, Santiago. That's easy. I mean, I don't know if I did. Ureña, maybe. My previous career was in wine, so I got very good at pronouncing. Not very good at pronouncing Spanish words, but reasonable at pronouncing certain Spanish words. So what we've got: 5 failed careers. Nice. If you really want to ruin someone's printer, this is a great way to go about it. There were some issues with Electric Bastion because there was so much black on the pages. There was some concerns over the print. So yeah. Thank you, Santiago, who says, I see, yeah, not bad, but I'm hearing that it was a faultless pronunciation. So I'll take that. Thank you very much. False Oracle. Your job was to tell them what they wanted to hear. You really should have seen this coming. Like a professional yes man sort of thing. So what do you get? What do you see in others' eyes? You can see their true nature, how they feel about you. So always good to have more failed careers. I think despite the fact that there's so many in the book, I would encourage everyone to try and write one. Just because I think I kind of like the idea. What I should have done. Now I'm just literally getting this idea now. There should have been a few pages in there left with like the framework of the failed career, like a template, just like maybe 3 pages, and left so that whoever owns the book has to fill that in. Now that would have annoyed some people, and to be honest, it probably would have annoyed me a little bit if I was a paying customer. But I also think I've spoke up time and time again about this whole idea that make Bastion your own. But I could have gone that bit further and just left an empty failed careers in there. Night Florist. The night blooms and you unfurl. Does Bastion notice your beauty? Nice. Bottomless pitcher plant. This is cool. You can only eat nectar. Yeah, that was kind of a running theme for a while in failed careers. I came up with quite a few where it's like you can only eat X or you cannot eat Y. Awesome. This is great. Absolute no-brainer for you to download that. Keep it on hand. Bird Wizard. Now, great. It's a 2-pager. I can smash this. No time at all. Created by Phineas I, or Phineas the First, maybe. Who knows? I like that it still has the artwork. It's still kind of the same format as your traditional fail career. You get a poop-encrusted wizard hat and a bird translator box. Here we go. Of what is your flock composed? Pigeons, doves, pelicans, some flamingos. Nice. What special trip do they know? Art of picking locks. Confuse opponents. So I like the fact that you could get like lock picking pelicans that just want to eat fish. So you've got to like keep fish on hand to get them to open locks. Yeah, I like it. Bird Wizard. And I like that this is like a less glamorous version of the... Oh, I'm going to get this mixed up now. No, it was Emmy Allen's entry. Emmy's guest failed career for the stretch goal. She wrote what were they called? The Rook Tamer. And I like that this is like just a shitty version of that, like literally. Tortevik, I did not see my game in the PDFs folder. If you tell me the name of your game, I will make sure I get it from the jam. Live on stream here. We'll have live downloading. It's gonna be crazy. Cities of the New Weird version 1. Supplement for Into the Odd and other adventure games. Thomas Manuel. I like that. I'm not going to try and like say, oh, this is clearly where someone was inspired by my incredible design. But like, I like that it's got a 3-point description here. The cities of the New Weird are in revolt. The rule of the right men has made a science a cruelty. Now, when your city fights back, what will you do? Residents of this neighborhood are half human, half nice. More weird. Okay, so it's like making a weird city. So you could kind of use this for... I guess it kind of fit in with the Living Stars, or like a failed city maybe. Cool. This is cool. I like it. Writing letter by Thomas. Oh, hi, I haven't bought Electric Bastion yet because I'm broke, but cities are cool and I want to imagine something like that. I do feel for you. Hopefully you'll be able to get your hands on a copy soon. Nice. All good. We're going to have a very short break for literally about 30 seconds while I make sure that I've got this entry that we might potentially be missing, because there's no point in me doing this marathon and then finishing sort of 1 mile short of the finish. Let's go to, if I can get to the correct thing, we're going to go here, and if somebody wants to ask me a very insightful question in the chat, I will try and answer a very insightful question while also downloading this missing file. So I'm downloading the carapace. Ooh, it looks pretty good as well. Purchase. Okay, maybe this is why I haven't, because maybe I've not been given a version of this. Let me find it. Tell you what, let's do this properly. In fact, Technoscald, how do you tune the weirdness level for a given group of players? Funnily enough, I was today writing a blog post about the weirdness level of your game and how to get it right and how to frame the weirdness. So there will be a little bit of writing about that. Sorry to keep jumping around, but while I answer this, yeah, tell you what, we're going to have a very brief intermission. When I come back, I will have all of the files and we will continue. Bear with me. ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We found the PDF, and we now have the full suite of whatever this is we're doing. Eclectic Bastion Jam. We have the full selection here, including Carapace, which is the lost item in question. Unfortunately, now because of the way this is set up, you're gonna have to wait till last. So you can either think of yourself as being punished for something that was out of your control, or you can see yourself as the headliner of this festival, and you can enjoy it that way. So let's get back into it. I've now completely forgotten where I was, but we just assisted the new weird. So, commercial muralist. I love seeing this 2-page thing here. This is helping me out. You offended important people with your last painting. Contracts for work have dried up, but your order dues have not. So this is a failed career. Created by Luis Alvarez. And you get a maul stick. Listen, you're going to have to forgive my ignorance of art here. But I like that you can basically have a school of art that you are schooled in, so to speak. Yeah, and what was the name of your last painting that was destroyed shortly after its unveiling? Awesome. Nice little failed career there. Fits into Bastion as far as I can tell. Cormorant. Is this an entire... Oh, and Cormorant, you haven't told me who you are. So let's give credit where credit is due. Oh, Sean Smith. Come on, Sean, you're better than that. Making me trek over to browser to do that. Cormorant, bad things happen. Make a test to avoid bad things. Characters are simple. So this is like a stripped back version of Electric Bastion, I guess. I really want to know about the name. I don't know why it's called Cormorant, but it's pretty cool. Thank you, Sean. Whoa. Wow. What have we here? Crawling Bastion. MV? Is this 1005? Or is this somebody called MV? Okay. Oh, okay, right. So it's too much for my computer to handle, apparently. Can I get a credit on this? Images from... Yeah, okay. Inspired by Jason Tosh's XVIII, Chris McDowell's Electric Bastion Land. Yeah, but who are you? Is MV your credit here? MV? Listen, I'm not down with the kids enough to know whether this is an abbreviation or some kind of username, but yeah, MV, thank you for whatever madness you have sent me here. So what have we got? This is like I'm getting Morkborg flashbacks, obviously, with this kind of zine inspired design. It's not great for me reading the words correctly on a stream under pressure. So it looks like we've got a sort of a twist on the classics. So our stats are wheels, measure of how fast the machinery and engines can function. So you're a crawler. So you're like a big crawling machine. You've got to respect this. You've got to respect that. The Pioneer. Metal wheels, and I didn't see what REA was. Reactor? Oh, reality. Sorry, of course. Oh, reality bending. You can change reality using reality protocols, testing your REA On a 1 to 3 you succeed, but you can't use the protocol and get. So it's like big machine wizards. Okay. You've got the Pioneer, the Nightfall. I've got no idea what I'm really looking at here. This isn't a game that benefits from this kind of swift look through. I like that each one has its own typeface. Wait, hang on. Are these named after the typefaces? Because obviously we've got Impact here. Right, this is crazy. Right, I'm looking to the chat because I can see lots of things happening here. The writer's name is MV, yes. Max V or MV. Okay, so it is MV. I wanted to make sure I wasn't like attributing it to the wrong person when in fact their MV was some kind of number, Roman numerals type thing. His name is Max Ver, I think. Right, okay, I'm not going to take that as gospel, don't worry. Okay. So, this is crazy, and I am definitely going to be coming back to this because it's bonkers. I love this whole aesthetic. It's somehow reminiscent of Electric Bastion with this, but then it's this weird. I kind of like this. I mean, without getting too wanky about the art here, I like that you kind of have to use your imagination here to picture what they're actually trying to represent. You have to kind of lean back and squint and blur your eyes a little bit to sort of imagine what this thing might look like. It's not like a crystal clear vision. Right, that's awesome, but that's going to have to wait for another day. So we're like half an hour into the stream, and I've done 12 of 60 odd. So I really didn't want to make this a two-parter, and I'm hoping I won't have to. If need be, I will go through the night unless the viewers drop below a certain number, after which I will immediately terminate the stream. So this is like some kind of speed-based stream here. If you stay with me, I'll stay with you. D6 Machines by Kyle R. Maxwell, fused with Electric Bastion. Nice. So just some straight up machines that you can use. The silver-tongued devil face. Mounted to a wall. Points out logical flaws. Excellent at telling people what they want to hear. And it can bite you, which is always handy. Deep Sea Diver. A Failed Career by Phineas. Phineas the First, or Phineas I again. So this was this the maker of the Bird Wizard, I think. So we've got another cool Deep Sea Diver. That's an obvious omission from the game. Like, it seems like this would have suited the setting nicely, but I didn't have a kind of submarine character. Nice, and just flippers, always handy. Deepest Country. Now this is one of the ones I think I heard something about. I can't remember what I heard, but I did hear it was here, so that's useful. So we've got very familiar looking rules here that are slightly modified. You've got things like watches, you've got hexes. So that's right, I did see this one because it's kind of a tweaked version of the rules if you want a bit more of a hex crawl, traditional hex crawl style game. Yeah, so here we go. Yeah, these rule sets were made to suit the playstyle of the OSR RPG that my players enjoyed the most. Let me credit someone for this. No credit. Right. Deepest Country was by Svan Raider, or Svan Raider. That's cool. Eclectic Bastion and Last Jousting Tournament. Svan Raider, yeah, I sorry, I didn't see your credit until I went and found it. Yeah, you should have shame for not putting yourself in the credits. You should have your name bigger than the title of the game. Never forget that. I don't think, no, I didn't do that for Electric Bastion, but I felt a little bit of shame putting my name quite so big across the top. But if you're not going to put your name on, you know, potentially the one big hardback book you're ever going to make, then it's got to be done. A melancholy farce in the midst of deep country for Electric Bastion. Words by Jack Alexander, art by Daniel Beard. Built from Lucarec's pamphlet template. So this is pamphlet format, if you can't tell. So it's like a jousting tournament, obviously. I'm saying that as if that's some kind of, like I'm fucking Sherlock Holmes. It's called the Last Jousting Tournament. And you've got a load of characters. What's gone wrong? Is this bespoke art again? Wow, art by Daniel Beard. That's awesome. So if you want a kind of deep country nightly tournament, you've got it. Eldritch Investigation Land. An Electric Bastion and horror investigation hack. So this is by Petter Fawns. So yeah, sort of obviously horrific horror investigation type situation. So we've got a slightly changed damage mechanic from the look of it, and a bit of luck element in there. Let's get to the juice. What can I be? So you've got some careers here, some organisations. It reminds me a little bit of just because it's in the same sort of genre. Silent Legions by that guy who makes the games all the time, and his name is I don't remember. The guy who wrote the guy who made Stars of That Number. Somebody in the chat will tell me his name. It's completely gone from my head. In that it's got that kind of creating like organizations is useful in this kind of thing. Kevin Crawford, of course it is. Thank you, Action Potato. Kevin Crawford, the man who is clever enough to know that I feel like he's on a different plane to the rest of us, because he knows that if you just keep making good games and you stay off Twitter, it's probably quite a nice little system you've got there. Awesome. I like it. Eldritch. I'm still stuck on the Eldritch. Electric Wizards. Cassette tape magic for Electric Bastion Land. 18 GLOG compatible. Come on, this isn't the GLOG hack. How do I delete this file? Who's to blame for this? Thanks to Goblin Punch. Yeah, okay, right. Yeah. So this is a good way to... This is David Lombardo. Awkward Turtle 42. I mean, at least my name is here above Arnold's. But, in fact, Arnold doesn't feature. You just get Goblin Punch. I'm joking, of course. GLOG is great. But I like to have an enemy system, and I've chosen GLOG as my enemy system. So, what have we got? Spells that are cassettes. I like it. Ooh. Wow. Where's this art from? Is this new art, or this is awesome. So you've got like your cassette tape inlay here. I mean, I know it's kind of and I don't mean this in a bad way at all. I know that it's a little bit of a cheap trick going for this kind of retro aesthetic, but it still sets off something inside me, and it still appeals to me. This is awesome. All this, I'm looking at the layout, sorry, and I'm not being fair to the actual content here. But this is really cool. So you've just got like oddities, spells, a failed career. This is great. Download it, 100%. So, yeah, David, you have redeemed yourself from your sin completely in my eyes. English Bastionland. As if it could get any more English. What do we have? D66 backgrounds. I'm going to need a drink for this. So we have got D66 backgrounds here for English Bastionland. I mean, D66 is the most English mechanic there is. The most English type of dice roll, I suppose. Let's do one, shall we? We're going to roll 2. We're going to have a party of 2. Number 15 is a living scarecrow. Wait, let me get my credit. Where are we? Are you gonna tell me who you are? No, you're not. So let's find it on here. Quietude. This is by. So we had 15. Living scarecrow. Years and years you protected your field. Wind, snow and rain, you protected it. Crows and poachers. It's a car park now. You're looking for something new, something alive to protect. I like it. So you are a scarecrow whose field was paved over, and that is very English. Very English. We do love a car park. Speak with wheat. Okay, I like it. That's cool. So what was our second one? I know what you're thinking, and I'm hoping it too. Here we go, 22. High class hooligan. 6-pack of beer, fine black suit with your favourite football team's colours painted on top. Do you get on with the other hooligans? Yes, you can start a fight at any drunken gathering or sporting event. What happened in your last street brawl? Got a cricket bat. Yeah, this is cool. I like it. Pedalo pilot. I'm just going to look at the names because I feel like there's some good stuff here. Badger warrior. Rag and bone man, both types. Pedalo pilot is great. One man mob. Opinion columnist is good. Lost holidayer, I like it. Punch and Judy as 2 separate classes. We've got a gap. Luddite, yeah, this is great. So Shed Dad is also incredible. So there's some fantastic stuff in here. I like it. Let's not get too enamored with any one thing. Ex-carpet seller, a failed career. Another one by Phineas. So this is going to help with me getting through 62 because how many of these are going to be just one-page things by Phineas? So yeah, what can you say? It's another failed career. I like it. I kind of wish he'd put them all into one document so I had like a little compilation, but I'm sure that could be easily done. Cool stuff. Fairmont, an electric bastion land borough, written and designed by Luis Alvarez, who I think I've already had. That name rings a bell for tonight. I think we already had one by Luis. So, 4 independent transit unions recently merged under one banner, the Amalgamated Transit Union. So we've got a nice borough here. This is cool. So it follows the system from the book. Oh, I didn't put 2 and 2 together that Cosmic Orrery was Phineas. Yeah, I'm not just saying that because it would have made my life slightly easier tonight, but I think having them all in one document would be really cool, just for people to be able to have as a sort of compiled failed career thing. So this is cool. It's a nice little 2-pager borough ready to go. An insectoid monstrosity who's the shopkeeper. Holographic data analyst and boulanger. Unimpressed with their repository of data, this hollow program started creating new tests. Nice. Classic stuff here. 50 Bastion odds. I like the art a lot. This is by Roque Romero. Point to one blindly or roll a die over this page. So these are our bastionards, they're calling them here, which is just legit because I've said before there's no one canonical word for somebody from Bastion, and there's no one adjective for someone from Bastion. So that is legit. I like this format a lot. I like that you've just got a very clear... And is this really what it... Oh, this is great. So who's done this? Yeah, Roque Romero. Oh, illustrations as well. Ah, no, sorry. So illustrations by Roque Romero. Who wrote this? Who's to blame? Um, 50... Oh, no, it is. It's a one person operation, I believe. So I did the illustration and the writing here. That is awesome. Yeah, this is great. I am very impressed with this. I could sit and look through every single one of these, but I'm not going to. Foster care volunteer and cloud reader is discouraged looking for Siamese twins while carrying an enormous jar of custard. So you've got like what they're doing and what their current mood is. Ethical killer and alienist. Eating a brain sandwich. Yeah, this is great. I mean, obviously I'm going to keep all these files, but that's one that I can really see myself using, like genuinely, like just printing it onto a little booklet and keeping it in with my game. Ghost impersonator. Justin Hamilton. I think when you get a good failed career, the name alone and the art gets you excited, and I think that's what's happened here. So you're a ghost impersonator, so you get a sheet and some chains. And where did you haunt? And how did you get found out? That's great. I'm not trying to say that like it's a real mark of honor that it sounds like something that I could have written, but I think it fits in with the rest of the failed careers in the book. Like that could have been one of the ones in the book, and I don't think anyone would have thought this feels a little bit incongruous. I remember True Light. By Kyle Thompson. Single player RPG for use with Electric Bastion land. I see. You are a failed integrated alien of Bastion. Your home is Nebula and it calls to you through the polluted light of the sprawling urban sky. Why did you come to this foreign land? Why has it not become your home? Cool. So, solo games, something that have really been interesting me lately. I sort of went from having zero interest in solo gaming and just not seeing the point to being kind of fascinated by them a little bit, and both in kind of the RPG and the miniature game stuff I've been working on. I think I can now see the appeal. I think being in lockdown is certainly a big factor there, because whereas I might have previously thought, well, I'm already meeting up and playing with my friends every week, now that that's not happening, being able to play a little miniature game against a very limited AI is actually quite appealing. So this sort of stuff does appeal to me now. This is really cool. So yeah, Luke Quaid, illustration, design and layout. Good work. This is cool. Into the Chopper. This is one that caught my eye. Nicholas Sorg. Ceaseless Carbine, I will answer that question very shortly. Or I will forget. That's the risk you've got to run. So, this game is an Into the Odd hack. A quick and simple change in the rules and scenery compared with the original book. Characters that came straight out of 80s, 90s and early noughties cops and war movies. So, yeah. It's an action film inspired military kind of hack, I guess. Bit of covering fire. So if you want something a bit more tactical, a bit more gunny, if you like, this looks like it fills that niche. I like seeing I like seeing both Metal Slug in there and Broforce. That's a nice set of inspiration to see. Awesome. That's cool. I will answer that question. Whoa. Okay, let me answer the question before I do it. So the question was from Ceaseless Carbine. Speaking of the miniature stuff, what do you use for your terrain for Grimlight? Now, I am aware that I am slowly turning my website, my blog, into like the Grimlight channel, and it might look like I'm abandoning RPGs forever. That's not what's happening, but that's what's really inspiring me at the minute. So I'm not going to talk about Grimlight for ages, but for terrain I use battle systems, cardboard terrain, which you kind of pop out and build together, make buildings, and they're all modular, so you can kind of put them together. I basically wanted to like relive my youth of that original Necromunda box that had sort of the big cardboard 3D terrain, and that was about the closest I could see. And that was my birthday present to myself this year. So it was a bit of a treat because it's unfortunate. It's not cheap, but it's also, I think, good value for what you're getting if you're happy playing on a small, dense, urban battlefield. So yeah, battle systems terrain. So far, I've been very happy with it. Now, I won't mention Grimlight again until someone asks me. Into the Hollow. Version 1.0. I saw someone in the chat asking about this. Ceaseless Carbine. You're trying to drag me into a discussion about miniature war games and RPGs, and I can see it, and it's pulling me. And I'm not going to bite entirely, but I will say that I'm not going to reveal too much, but I am currently recording for the next series of the podcast. And out of the 6 episodes I've got, which have got 6 different guests, 2 of the episodes are looking into this kind of war games, role-playing games connection. So I don't want to go into it too much, but there are 2 guests that I've got that are kind of, one of whom is a full-on war games person, and the other is someone who has written some very interesting stuff about war games, who I wanted to get involved. So the podcast will be discussing that. Yeah, did I miss one? Into the Depths. Yeah, I've got. They're both here. They're both here. Don't worry. So I'll do Into the Hollow first, then I'll do Into the Depths. Much like when I asked for like people to read through the book and find typos, it became incredibly apparent to me how everybody has much better attention to detail than I do. So do tell me if I'm skipping any. I know that you would. Let's have a look. Into the Hollow, version 1. So we're like Hollow Knight, I guess. Hollow Knight based Into the Odd plus Hollow Knight. Seems like a solid combination. Oh, let's not do that. So I played Hollow Knight a little bit, and I liked what I saw, but then I am very impatient, and I think you have to get through a little bit before you get into like the good stuff, I think. So I did enjoy what I played, but I need to dedicate a bit of time to it. So I'm not going to claim to be a Hollow Knight expert. But yeah, you've got a bit more advanced kind of combat stuff, special moves that you can do. So yeah, that's useful. Now Into the Depths. Oh, who is it? I don't know why you were worrying that I was. Oh, so this is your actual this is your actual entry, I guess. You've had all these little hors d'oeuvres that you've been serving up throughout the night, just little 2-page things, and this is now Phineas, your masterwork from Cosmic Orrery. So I can see why you would be annoyed if I was to skip that. Phineas, sorry, I keep saying Phineas for some reason. Descend into the Earth's bowels. Whether by accident or intent, you and your intrepid band of misadventurers have delved, stumbled, and fallen deep into the ancient hidden world beneath the Earth's surface. Here, within the cathedral-esque caverns, you will meet strange calcite sorcerers, cruel bronze-armoured ghoul-men, and ancient toad prophets. So I guess we've got like a kind of a full-on hack with this kind of spelunking focus, I guess. Oh, you've got an encumbrance system, but then we've also got some familiar things like deprivation, thirst. So I guess it's kind of like a little bit of a mashup of Into the Odd and Veins of the Earth, maybe. And yeah, Journey to the Centre of the Earth, a pretty clear inspiration here. I like it. You've got lots of random. So this is like, again, 18 pages. But this is a pretty complete little booklet game here that you could print, take to the table. There you go. Into the Odd module, Hidden Shrine of Setebos. It's interesting seeing how many people have sort of stuck to Into the Odd. I joked about sort of Electric Bastion and creating this schism where now you've got the old school people that are saying, well, Into the Odd is really better than Electric Bastion, and you got carried away with Electric Bastion, and that's addition bloat happening right there. But yeah, it's interesting how many people have just outright said, no, this is Into the Odd. I'm sticking with it. It's not a bad thing at all. My intention was never to kill Into the Odd with Electric Bastion, and it's just two different ways of presenting the same sort of system, I guess. So this is written and everything by Vagabond Orc. Thanks to Anne of DIY and Dragons. Brilliant blog. I can recommend everyone go and check that out. And Anne has written some really cool stuff there. Anyway, enough about the credits. What is this? The Hidden Shrine of Setebos. We've got some adventure hooks. We've got wandering monsters. So it's more... Forgive me a second, while I remove a chunk of something from my eyeball. So it's more of like a traditional D&D dungeon. Mood can't be concrete. Atmosphere, mood, it is essential in any horror story, and horror adventures are no exception. I added a small mood section in each room. Mood descriptions are made of abstractions, ideas, and symbols. Mood can't be concrete. Is the mood sad? Sad mood sounds concrete enough, but what does sad mean? Okay. So it's kind of like a, unless I'm misreading this, it's a little bit of a sort of parallel take on like show don't tell. So don't tell me this room is sad. Give me something. Is that right? I might be completely misreading this. So let me find a room. Yeah, there's some cool stuff in here. Let me get to a room. Whoa, look at all these. There's quite a lot of monsters in here. This is 80 pages. I didn't see the page count. So this is quite a substantial dungeon. Right, give me a mood. Dusty and neglected. Fallen plaster exploding the bricks. Forgotten, homesick. Okay, I'll need to reread that because I didn't fully get what that meant there. So this is just like a proper full-on, I hesitate to say old school dungeon here. So let me find a random room and I'm going to use that to judge the entire thing. The Chained Man. Stuff. Water is shallow. Long iron chains hang from the ceiling. A man chained to a wall. Hidden and secret information. So the water gets more shallow and colder and cleaner as you approach the exit. Chain man, like a corpse standing in desperation, water to his waist, deep wounds in his skin, smells of alcohol. Examine him closely and he will talk. This is cool. Oh, and we've got linked PDF, which is handy. I searched the bookshelf table. Yeah, this is great. I'm a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of content in there. That's fantastic. I would recommend everyone check that out. Yeah, this is Hidden Shrine. Well, that was Hidden Shrine of Setebos. Into the Rave. A Trip by Gustavo Tertullione. So, 47 pages. Oof. I'm glad that I read the name from the front because I cannot decipher that typeface right there. So, what is this? You're an outcast who's seeking a place in a new tribe, just like the ones who are with you now. But in order to be part of a clan, you will need to prove your value to the leaders of this new tribe. Okay, so it's like post-apocalypse, I guess. Main objective, to pay the debt with the elders. Okay, cool. The DJ, okay, so it's kind of like rave-based post-apocalypse. This is awesome. So let's get to some of the clans. So this is like the clan that you're from, and it's different genres of electronic music, I guess. I'm assuming all these names are extremely clever references that are lost on me. This is great. Or QR codes. That's a new one for me. That's awesome. Right, there's a lot of content in there. That's well worth checking out. Into the Rust Belt. An unofficial supplement to Electric Bastion, and that's right. Got some more great art here. Liam Murphy. Welcome to the Rust Belt. Oh, this book is in no way endorsed by, associated with, read by, or enjoyed by Mr. McDowell. So I should probably just close this down. Right, what's the deal? So I'm guessing, much like we had the English Bastion, and this is like Rust Belt of America. So you could be a bartender. Oh, hang on, we're on the sync tier. There we go. Food cartist, sentient manufacturing robot, school teacher. Ugh, I'm getting flashbacks. You've got a keen smell for shenanigans. Nothing can sneak up behind you. That's great. Awesome. So yeah, if you want to move your game into the Rust Belt and have a goose, then you're good. I feel like a goose should be should have a more powerful attack. There. Itinerant travelers. They come from beyond the sandy mirage far out in deep country that dreams are made of. So, Electric Bastion and NPCs to act as friends, foes, holders of debt, or all three. So we've got 8 interesting characters. Slug Cartier. Hunched mess of dirty rags and slime. Pushes a wooden cart that creaks under a panoply of unusual boxes. Escapee slugs. I'm reading this and I'm already disgusted, and I'm getting like weird. Like I don't have a slug phobia. I mean, there's lots of slugs and snails in the book, but reading this description is freaking me out. So that's mission accomplished, I suppose. So who's this by? I'm not crediting people. I'm losing the plot. Benjamin Foster. yeah, this is cool. Now I'm going to get to the end of this row, then we're going to have a very, very short break. It depends whether we... I mean, what do you think? Should we try and go through the whole thing and potentially have a stream that lasts 3 hours? Or should we have a break and come back to it next week when I'm fresh and perhaps able to give it a bit more of a fair shake? Or do you want the full-on marathon punishment stream? Because I'm kind of happy with either of them. Let me know in the chat. The Labyrinth of Vera, written by Joaquin Olo. So this is... what is it? You'll play with mutant monsters with powers, reanimated parts of Vera, trying to find their way through the magic labyrinth. Action potato. I just want you to be happy. That that touched me more than it perhaps should have. Yeah. Well, I'll have a think. I'll see how I feel at the end of these few. So yeah, you're like a weird mutant monster in a maze. Monsters get weird powers and their stability. This is weird. So I like the whole mutant monster theme. Nice. That's pretty cool. Last quarter. Experimental poverty tourism. Oof, don't like the way this is going. It's it's dense. I'm sort of like being pulled in all different directions. It's just a great little borough here. You've got buskers, you've got a fat rat hotel. Again, it just feels right. It feels like Bastion. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, is this something I wrote? Awesome. Lightning conductor. Wow. What an entrance we've got here. So who's this? Oh, of course. By Phineas. So that was your job. You were a lightning conductor. You get conductive conductor's rod and a ticket stub to a concert. Which venue did you play in? And genre of choice. An amplified accordion. That's strong. Nice. I'm on board with it. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's get serious for a moment. So I'm going to take a very short comfort break, and I am going to, I think, try and get through the rest because we are more than halfway through, and I think with a fresh cup of coffee I can get through all these, and because there are so many of you here, it would be a shame to abandon the cause now. So let's have a intermission. Welcome back. As you can see, I've dimmed the lights and we are now into the after dark sessions for the Eclectic Bastion jam, where I'm reading through every entry to this game jam for games inspired by Electric Bastionland and Into the Odd. The first half has taken me just over an hour, and it's been, strictly speaking, we're a bit past the halfway point, so I reckon we can smash this in about 45 minutes. I'm just gonna jump straight into our next entry, if I can actually find the correct key. Bookmarks. We've got a badass here. So because it's 10:23 p.m. here, as you can tell from the twilight sort of atmosphere I've tried to create. Let's go even lower. Is this too crazy? I'm drinking caffeinated coffee at 10:30. This is what you've done to me. Don't think I've experienced this sensation of drinking coffee at after 10 p.m. at night since I was a student. It's quite the wild life that I live here. Metro Crawl. The court of those who succumb to prematurely to crippling expectations. The trains are cyborg snake devils. The 3 lines at this station are H, F, H, E, and L. Okay, so it's like a train. It's like a train. I think something's gotten slightly wrong with the art here, because I think I remember seeing this, and I'm not sure. I'm sure the art did look a bit better before. We've got train stations. We've got encounters in train stations. I recognise this image from somewhere in a real world underground railway network. I see. Yes, there is a related game to this. This is a dungeon to go with one of the other games in the jam. So who made this Metro Crawl? That's a good question, and the answer is not going to be in here. I think this is part of the maximum recursion depth entry. So we'll get to it. Will I get to it? Is max? Yeah, it is in there. You know what? Let's jump ahead. Maximum recursion depth, or sometimes the only way to win is to stop playing. The Karmapunk RPG Ashcan edition. So I saw this. This is one of the. I can't remember why I opened this up. It's by Max Cantor, and it's a bizarre kind of. This is not how I remember it being. I'm thinking of something entirely different. It is a Karmapunk RPG. Yeah, the art something's gone wrong with the art, because when I opened it previously it didn't go all funny. This is a problem with like my reader, so apologies for the art. There is a karma system to add into your game. This looks interesting. This is going to require more time than I can give it. So if you want something that's going to change something quite fundamental about the game, check this out. Now, back to Metroplex. Yeah, I feel bad that the art is not showing correctly on my... you know what, let's try one more thing, shall we? Go away, tools. We don't want you. Let's try something here. Let's try opening it in a browser. Oh, just call me a computer hacker. So there you go. There's your art. And this is the Ashcan edition. I think there is a version with the full artwork. So yeah, I'm sorry that's been a slightly odd look at that particular entry, but that's unfortunately the nature of this very quick look through. Metroplex. Lo-fi biopunk in the withered Megapolis. This is by Reptilian Esoterica. Who are you? You're Matt C. We've got a 17-page game here. Cool. So it's a big weird city, but it's a slightly different big weird city to Electric Bastion now. Dilettantism. Ways you might occupy yourself, but not necessarily an occupation. So it's like your job doesn't define you in the same way here. So you might be a gutter voodoo ABCdarian. You might be a radical botanist, but you've still got your debt. Oh, random starting debt. Crazy. I like who's on the radio as a table. Is this low light situation a ridiculous idea? Let's have things a bit more sensible. Yeah, so this is cool. So it's kind of like a weird biopunk, I guess. City. I like it. Milliamp. Now this is one of the ones I did look at. Because this is it. Pretty much. You've got a character sheet. And you've got an extremely condensed version of the system for Electric Bastion. So I guess you could give each player one of these little business cards that has the rules on one side and the character sheet on the other side. I like it. Useful to have. I did not credit the milliamp writer. I'm gonna, as I get slightly more tired, I am gonna forget to credit people. So do call me out. Milliamp is by Olabosk. Nice stuff. So let's get rid of milliamp. Ooh. Necrovon Into the Beyond. This is by Walter Licinio and Erica Antunes. Apologies as ever for the game. For the game. Well, apologies for the game, but also apologies for the pronunciation of your names. Necrovon, the Otherworldly Academy, headquarters to the researchers of the unknown. Cool. It's a solid. So he's got more of a Lovecraftian horror theme. Principles, nice to see. We've got some 3 bullet points here. This person obviously has incredible taste. It looks great. I'm really digging this whole layout here. Spark table. Let's do one. Let's not. If I feel like I'm telling myself that it's late and I'm tired, I'm going to suffer for it. But if I just trick my body with things like this, it'll be great. 4 and 1. Spark table. Haunted Mausoleum. I mean, that's good, but let's give you something a bit weirder here. 5 and 2. Lycanthropic Bear. I keep rolling like the combinations that you would expect. I'd rather have a Lycanthropic Mausoleum and a Haunted Bear. That's the way that you should have that, definitely. So you got Necrovon and you got the Beyond, the Land of the Dead, the kind of other world of this setting. Oh wow, these are cool. How many of these have we got? So we've got 6 failed careers here, or whatever the equivalent here is. What's this art? Is this art like for the game? I don't know. Does anyone in the chat who is familiar with this? Oh, well, or who may have actually. Well, Walter Licinio is in the chat. Tell me about this artwork. I'm not trying to diminish your very good writing as well, but is this artwork like, was this made for the game? Because it's really stunning. So you could have been a fluidologist. What did you do while the potions were brewing? Feed the piranhas. Sea creatures rarely attack you. And the art was done for. Wow. Okay, so this is great. Synthetic cryptid. This is really cool art. And listen, I know, because all I have to, whenever I show anyone Electric Bastion and I'm like, look at this game I designed and all these words that I wrote, people are just like, oh yeah, the art's great, isn't it? It's really good pictures. Yeah, it's a shame there's all these words in the way. So I do sympathise, but also the art is great. So you are the illustrator. Oh, okay, cool. I'm not insulting you too much. Antagonists. Ah, cool. Okay, I like that they're kind of split up here. You got touchstones, relics, the Honk of Belial, Chthonic Spear. This is great. Yeah, this is really cool. I'm incredibly impressed with this. I feel this is going above and beyond anything that I've made, so that's really good stuff. Odd Beings. Ten Strange Entities for Electric Bastion, and this is by a new creator, somebody called Phineas. I don't recognise this name. Oh look, it's Cosmic Orrery Games again. Yes, I am going to keep giving you shit for this, I'm afraid. Cover image by Phineas as well. The full Renaissance performance here, writing and illustrating. So an alley lurker. So it's kind of like a mimic, I guess. Parasitic Shop. Cam crabs. Right, I'm going to just slightly adjust my screen because it is blinding me. Ghost Parliament. So yeah, this is cool. It's some nice little city themed monsters for your game. Cool stuff. Now, the only entry that was bold enough to present in PNG format rather than PDF. Papa Pendleton's patented pork pimenton jam product. 40 years ago, when my papa bought this land from Kensington Oil and Battery Refinery, they called the old man crazy. They said that nothing would grow here because of the chemicals and whatnot. Well, here we are today, sharing our specially engineered hog and pepper products with another generation of Bastion's young ones. Our patented product soaks up that sickness and transforms it into nutrients. It's the flavour of industrial might and modernity. So yeah, it's some jam that will restore some HP, but have some nasty side effects. I like that they've gone very literal with the jam element. Right. Now, I think I recognise this one as a longer one. Yes, I do. So, let me finish my coffee. So, this is QZ, or QZ, an RPG by Jason Tocci. So 78 pages means that we are going to have to get to the core of this pretty quickly. This looks really cool. I think I remember seeing Jason post something about this, and I sort of tried not to look at it because I really wanted to sort of do this blind first read. There is a place here on Earth where, just across an invisible boundary, the laws of physics are fractured. The government named it the Quarantine Zone, or QZ, and built its own barriers around it. So yeah, it's like a weird threshold you can cross. So, how to use this book. This is very thorough. Nice, clean layout. Rules. So I'm assuming this is kind of similar. Yep, we've got kind of Into the Odd core here, or Bastion and core. Characters. Okay, so you sort of determine the team that you are. That's cool. And you get bonds, which is good. Scientists, soldiers, and scavengers. You've got kind of like 3 archetypes, I guess, and then you've got Ah, okay. So you add up your ability score, and that gives you a score that tells you what you get. So you get better stuff if you roll bad ability scores, but it's done in a kind of different way to the classic method. This is actually a much more reliable method. This is a better sort of nod to balance, if you like. Skill sets. Okay. Ooh. Growth and change. So yeah, this is really cool. It's basically just like taking the core of Into the Odd and applying it to a new setting and giving it a whole lot of polish. Alterations. Let's crack out our trusty D100. Google, you need to sort out this dice roller that doesn't have a proper D100, because I can't bring myself to look at it that way. There we go, 39. What have you got? Lobster claw. I would be happy with that. Compulsions. Okay. I didn't look at like how many mutations and compulsions you get. I'm re-rolling the 10s because this is my compulsion. 27. It's a D20, so let's just call that 9. Stigmata occasionally flares up and only dries upon return to the QZ. So this is cool. This is really cool. I would love to see this in print. Building the local town, the lab. This is incredibly thorough. This is like humbling, the amount of work that's gone into this. Yeah, inspired by Annihilation. Oh, Highland Paranormal Society, hello. Yeah, it being inspired by Annihilation sounds about right to me. Technoscald says, I want to throw away my Into the Odd campaign before it even starts and run this instead. Cool. That's what I was hoping for. This game jam has basically made my games obsolete. It has revealed me as the fraud that we all suspected I was, really. And that my games are really better off in the hands of other people. So it's good to know that, though. The Underground, but not that Underground. This is cool. Again, I thought for this game jam, I knew that I would want to look through everything, but I wasn't expecting to find so many entries where I really want to sit and like dig through it in detail. So I've got a lot of reading to do now in future, which is great, but it has hugely exceeded my expectations in terms of just the pure content that's out here. So yeah, let's speed through here. This is, again, the artwork's great. I'm getting like a kind of like the kind of old sci-fi novels you find in like a used bookshop. I'm getting that kind of vibe. Gender neutral names and nicknames, always handy to have. Went through a lot of, well, I'll say a lot of effort. Went through some effort with Electric Bastion and to make sure the names were gender neutral, just aside from any sort of ideological reason why I would do that, but also it's just very useful. So if you have a character and you flick to a page, you're going to find 4 names that could apply to that character regardless of their gender. That's cool. I just love the look of it as well. It just feels, I don't know, it feels comforting to look at, which is odd when you think that it's this weird horror thing. There we go. Inspired by Annihilation, Eclipse Phase, Stalker, Roadside Picnic. Right, that's cool. I'm going to get away from that before I get drawn in too much, but that is some really cool stuff there. Cosmic Orrery said, would you like a more in-depth review of your favorites? I think, yeah, if there's a few that I really want to dig into, I might revisit them on a future stream. I'm still working out what to do with this stream, if I'm being completely honest, because we are back now. I will be streaming for the next few weeks. There will be 1 week when I'm off towards the start of September. but I'm going to try and stream for the next few more weeks on Tuesday nights, and I'm still working out what to do with the stream. So looking at other games is something that I thought about. I would like to do it more in the context of, here are some cool lessons to learn for your game, rather than like a review, if you like. I don't want to look through a game and be talking about whether or not I think it achieves what it's meant to do or any of that nonsense. I just want to look through it and say, here are the cool ideas that I could mine from this. Okay, I can see the way this is going here. Scatomantia. Une classe magie médique pour Troika et Electric Bastion. This is going to be entirely in French. Okay, that's going to be a difficult for me. I speak enough French to understand the theme here. Expert dans l'art de la manipulation des excréments, souvent à tautra de médicien les scatomantiens, puissant les grands, puissant magie dans la rigette, fécond et fécond des autres vivants. I apologize if you actually speak French and you had to tolerate that. So yeah, it's like a shit monster class, and it's in French. This is not what I was expecting to see. It's like a double bill here because you've got Troika and Electric Bastion, and at some point maybe I should talk about like the crossover between Troika and Electric Bastion, and because I enjoy Troika a great deal, and I regularly find myself going back to that book to just sort of dive into it and seeing what people do with that system. And I think there's some interesting crossover with how it handles classes, and also some interesting differences. So that kind of speaks for itself. I didn't get a name for this, did I? There is no name in here. Okay, so who are you? Tyranno. Again, apologies for my French. Sky Whales of Jupiter. A Baroque sci-fi adventure in the clouds of a gas giant. Yes, but who wrote you? Cosmic Horror Games. Listen, shall I just start assuming that this is everything that I don't see a credit for is Cosmic Horror? So yeah, it's a whaler on Jupiter. Vitality, nimbleness, and dramatics. I do like hacks that kind of rename the three ability scores. I think it's a nice way to imply a little bit of flavour about your world in a very straightforward way. So yeah, you're going whaling. You have an aerial bark, which is a specialist vessel to fly through the clouds of Jupiter. Ship-to-ship combat, that's cool. And you have a specific background for your whaler. And a sample adventure even. It's the full package here. Squires Errant. Rules for fantastic late medieval role-playing games. Who wrote you? I don't know. Timby. So yeah, like a kind of Pendragon style, being a squire and going around doing knightly things. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of like a more traditional D&D Pendragon-y kind of take on the world. You've got some nice little additional combat mechanics here. That's cool stuff. Youngmin Lee, aka Gearung. Striders. This is an English translation of Front Earth Strider's source reference development document. Okay. So it's an SRD, system reference document, inspired by Into the Odd. And what's the deal? Players make player characters and go on an expedition. Or you've got the navigator instead of a conductor. Mind body skill. So yeah, it looks like we've got kind of a sort of twist on the mechanics of Into the Odd. You've got some additional things like using resources. It seems to be handled a little bit differently. Oh, Magitech. Okay, so yeah, it's somebody's hack of Into the Odd, basically. It's which sounds like I'm being a bit disparaging there, but I always find it interesting to go in and see what people change, and sometimes like the small changes can have a big impact. So I do find this kind of thing really interesting to look through. Let me just see if there's any meat here that I can steal. I like having a scenario toolkit. That's kind of a cool way to get people started in the game. Yeah, that's cool. The Brothers Compote. I saw this and the name immediately endeared it to me, I should say. Jams, marmalades, compotes, and joke books. This is what happened before you failed your career. At the end of this game, you'll be £10,000 in debt to the Brothers Compote. So it's like a prequel. It's got a starting adventure, big list of jams, marmalades, compotes, and joke books, a new failed career, and a few new faiths. Okay. So it's like a weird kind of prequel where you're like before your career failed, but I guess you're kind of destined to fail. You've got random events, you're running a shop. This is pretty cool. I like this a lot. It's a very creative kind of frame for the for a game. Jam and compote salesperson. Right, where's this joke book? Here we go. So, special joke book. The secret to infectious laughter. If studied, you know how to inspire infectious laughter. Anybody infected can't do anything but sit down and laugh. That sounds incredibly useful. That's really cool. So, yeah, a little self-contained prequel style adventure. I did not credit whoever wrote the Brothers Compote, did I? And they did not credit themselves. So, really, who does the blame really lie with? This is by the Bearded Belgian. The Dead Are Coming. Now, I think... Yeah, this is by Diogo Nogueira, who I believe just missed the deadline for the jam. I'm not sure of the specifics, or it wasn't included. I can't remember why it wasn't included in the jam. But this is a zombie apocalypse hack for Into the Odd, I believe. Oh, we've even got editing and proofreading by the Moonrat Collective. Prestigious staff here. This is 48 pages and it looks pretty professional here. So, what's the deal? You've got your standard kind of roll it up and you get your background with 2 items. I already can't stop myself messing with it here. But no, I'm not gonna mess. I'm not gonna mess. Leave it with me. You get a physical detail. You get a personality trait. So let's do a couple, shall we? So we're doing D66. So our survivor, 26, there's an electrician. We got a bundle of wires and a small generator. Their physical detail is 22. They have long braids. And 44, their personality trait is they are scrupulous, a scrupulous electrician. We've got names here. Nice. It's all very, again, very coolly laid out. Oh, 3D6. I've skipped ahead here, and we're into like units, which means that I didn't read something about units and how they work. But it sounds like we've got a slightly different kind of damage system going on. Stress. So yeah, stress is your kind of will damage system. You've got kind of principles which are good to have. Types of zombie. I'm a big Left 4 Dead fan. I think it's got some really interesting game design lessons to take from it. So it's good to see them getting represented. Zombie elephant. Good to have. Oh, sorry, Z elephant. Cool. So yeah, if you want zombie apocalypse, which many people do, this looks like a really cool little resource. I say little, 48 pages, and you've got all these D66 tables for just stuff. It's really cool. 100 things to do in the zombie apocalypse. Let's do one of them. What are you doing to me? You keep giving me 10s. I know that it should be 0, but it doesn't feel right looking at it that way. 21. A vehicle breaks down in the middle of the road. It will take time to fix it. So you've got some classic kind of scenarios there. Rule summary at the end is always handy. Cool. You even got like a blurb on the back. This is like it's like a serious deal here. So I believe this is available on Drive-Thru RPG rather than itch.io, where everything else is available, for the time being at least. So if you want the zombies in your Into the Odd, check it out. Walter Licino says that the previous one we were looking at will be launched as a trilogy, from what I've seen on Twitter. So yeah, I'd recommend, if you're interested at all in this, The Dead Are Coming. I don't have his Twitter handle to hand, but if you look at Diogo on Twitter, you will be able to see exactly what's going on. The Labour Exchange. Who are you? Who made you? Listen, next time I run a jam, Robot Francis. Next time I run it, it's going to be compulsory. Put your name in there. Okay, we've got a circuit diagram that's slightly confusing me. The Labour Exchange is a bureaucratic organisation set up to match those with failed careers to potential new employers. Okay. A piece of technology that is said to make someone stronger, more obedient, and willing to accept longer hours and lower wages. I see. So it's jumping into the kind of bureaucratic side of things. The mockery. I see. So this is cool. I like it. The Carnival. The Carnival by Will Hilton. To ease our suffering, we seek diversion. To counter drudgery, we demand the bizarre. So you've got a nice little borough here, I guess. No, it's the Under Circus. Sorry, so we're kind of in the underground, I guess, here. So you've got Carnival, Corrupted Rooms, Coalesce Rooms. Ooh. So yeah, it's a dungeon. And you've got a sort of lots of these little random tables, which I like. Cool. Can never have too many dungeons that are nice and clearly laid out like that you could probably just run off the cuff. The Waste Forest by Chom. It's not actually a forest, it's just a cute folksy name given to one of Bastion's most famous garbage dumps. Wow. So we've got an entire borough, I guess, mapped up here. And you've got lots of interesting looking encounters here. Again, quite a substantial little dungeon here. There was a lot of content here to work through in this entire jam. I've been very impressed just at the quality, but also the quantity has really exceeded my expectations. The Clay Shelf, written by Yochai Gal, who organised the jam. So thank you again to Yochai. And let's see. We've got Roque Romero. I'm really sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that first name. This art is great. So, the Clay Shelf. A desert enclosed by a large caldera. Travelling through the shelf. You got random encounters. So you've got a kind of, I guess, deep country is where you would put this sort of thing. Out in the middle of nowhere, you've got lots of weird. I'm getting kind of like almost like a ultraviolet grasslands kind of vibe from some of this. This is great. So again, you get it's a very different take to the kind of traditional dungeon that we've seen or wilderness area. It's got quite a unique kind of mood to it. Nice map and fantastic art. Yeah, lots of cool stuff here. So that's by Yochai Gal. The Lighthouse Keeper. I saw this one because it made me laugh. And it grabbed my attention. So Lighthouse Keeper, and then what's odd about you? You can't help but to investigate the forbidden. This is like bonkers. I'm struggling to like parse what's going on here. I feel like there's some kind of really clever referencing going on here that is just like flying completely over my head. But you've got a very unusual fail career here by Max Camera. The Diabolical Dossier. 14 pages. A game of ordinary people and extraordinary conspiracies. This is by R.M. Ossie. So it's kind of like a conspiracy thriller type thing. You got a bit of Cthulhu in there, a bit of Da Vinci Code, a bit of Dracula. And yeah, you can have the typical kind of spy action, investigation. Your backgrounds are a bit more grounded. You've still got Birdwatcher in there, so I like that they're not all completely straight. Awesome. Yeah, and a skill system in there as well. It's like I say, these ones that have like just twists on the system, I think are really interesting to go and look at, just to see what people do differently. The Far War for Bastion Borough by Bob Holt. It's a one-person operation. So we've got a borough here. Here we go. So nice, it's just another easy to run borough that you can just throw in there. Museum of Cured Meats. Nice stuff. Right, we have 8 left. The end is in sight. I can see it. I can see that we are losing viewers rapidly. So those of you who are stuck through till the bitter end, I want to thank you ahead of time for helping me through yet another entry by Phineas. This time we've got a Three Musketeers type situation. No, 3 for Bastion Land. Fun factions to abuse and use. So we've got, I think this is one of the ones I saw actually. We've got some factions that you can throw into your game. Always handy to have. We have yet another entry here by Phineas. Thug's Guild Journeyman has a failed career. Nice. Trash Goblins. Based on Wizard Lizard's writing on Discord, with additions by RMRC. So you are Trash Goblins. You get some rubbish ability scores. You get very little HP. You get a shitty job. You get a favourite colour. And you're just going to be getting up to Goblin no good. Oh, first level Magician spells. So yeah, if you wanted to be a really crappy little Goblin and into the odd, that's how you do it. Yuri the Wandering Elevator. Who am I crediting for this? This is by Neath, and it's a lost elevator. I'm trying to like make sense of this now. Yuri, it cries. Yuri is lost. Yuri is an elevator. It will try to fit every building to see if it belongs. When elevating or descending to another level, there's a 50% chance Yuri will have moved to another building. So it's kind of like, it's got that kind of SCP vibe that I like to see in the game. That was a big influence. And it's just a weird thing to put in your world without much kind of explanation. Right, we've got another fancy one here. So this is Visiting Lutweiler Nexus, travel guide for Bastion's unexplored sub-district. This is by Menno van der Leyden. So it's a travel guide for an area of Bastion. It's once a wasteland littered with dying industrial buildings, abandoned mansions and broken down machinery. The area started to develop some odd decennia ago, when the last of the Xerxes left for their home system. So you've got kind of a weird alien influenced region. I like the use of Bastion slang in here. So, yeah, this is like a weird alien-influenced borough, a Bastion. It's pretty thorough. You've got some food guides, a refinery. Yeah, check it out. That's cool. Wages for the Dead. 8 failed careers for the posthumously inclined. This is by Adam Blumenau. Oh, hang on. We're having issues here. There we go. Pale Horse Stablehead. You tended horses for the harvesters. You got a head start when they came for you. Okay, this is cool. So you died, I guess. They're all like death themed. This layout and art is awesome. Did I Oh, the art is courtesy of the oldbookillustrations.com and the British Library. But this is cool stuff. Maverick Embalmer. It's like a twist on the counterfeit taxidermist. Extorted Medium. Yobbish Coffin Shaker. Stoic Morologist. What have you stolen from your Mournmaster? A painted wood clapper for rousing spirits and attention. These are some cool failed careers here. That's some really cool stuff. Weird North. Sword and Sorcery RPG of picaresque adventure. 45 pages. Okay. Let's get our pages in straight here. So, we've got a system for fell sorcery, which might turn you into a snake. We've got design and layout by Jim Parkin, editing by Yokaga, and public domain art. So we've got kind of a sword and sorcery, picaresque, yeah, you know, Conan type situation, but give me some meat here. So you got archetypes, backgrounds that give you weird stuff. Here we go. So we're still kind of similar to like the failed career system. I like things like these kind of base special abilities. It seems like it's a good fit. Got a nice guide for playing the game. Oh, reaction rolls. So that's kind of a nod back to your D&D style reaction rolls, which are a very useful mechanic to have. So I don't begrudge anyone using them in Into the Odd or Bastion Land. Example of play. Wow, thorough here. Principles for referees. I like these nice, simply laid out NPCs and enemies. So this is cool. This is just nice and a nice, thorough sword and sorcery resource. That's cool stuff. So the last one that we'll be looking at here is the Carapace. Just Carapace, rather, not the Carapace. This is by Tortevic, who I think should still be in our chat. Victor Pereira. Stepped out of the pedestal. Divinity lost. Insufferable pain, our bodies were torn. We hid in the dark. It comes with a cost. Outside, in the light, the monsters were born. What is Carapace? That's a good question. It's a role-playing game in which your ancestors have isolated themselves in the caves to seek protection from the awakened marble titans. Now the cave dwellers are in the middle of a major crisis and will have to rediscover the outside in order to preserve their homes. Cool. One player acts as a bugmeister in place of having their own bugs. Okay. So I missed the fact that you are a bug. Guts, metabolism, and instinct. That's pretty cool. So yeah, you're like a weird bug. Ah, cool. So you get a gift and a curse. And your previous mult, which I guess is like the failed career equivalent. So let's do some rolling here. Let's roll a d10 and a d12. 2 and 12. So your birth sign was Fire Seeker. So you have a bioluminescent fungal lantern, but enthralled by flames. You must pass an instinct save or be dangerously drawn to fire. And your previous mult is you were a false prophet. You foretold the death of the Vermin Prince. The Queen was not pleased. So you get a mystical staff and oracle cards. Marble is the currency, and your equipment is kind of standard stuff here. I'm assuming these rules are basically the same here. Yeah. Titan shards. Okay. So this is your kind of magic system, I guess. Exploring the outside, you've got some searching encounter system, a weather system, rules for fighting a frog, and you've got these kind of d6 rolls for demeanor, kind of Troika inspired, I would imagine. The Marble Titans. This is really cool, and it's a very unique take. Awesome. So that is Carapace. If you want to be a bug and fight giant statues, or try not to get crushed by giant statues, perhaps, check it out. So that concludes our marathon through the Eclectic Bastion Jam. Again, I would like to thank Wizard Lizard and Yokai Gal, who set up and ran this whole thing. And thank you to those of you who stuck with me to the very end on this. And of course, thank you to everyone who contributed to the Game Jam. It's incredibly flattering to see just the quantity in terms of the number of entries. I wasn't expecting to see 61 entries, and I was not expecting to see so many of them be these huge, sort of relatively complete games with art and everything. I thought I'd get, people do collections of failed careers, or like a weird monster, or some oddities. I was not expecting some of the bigger, wilder things in there. So thank you to everyone who contributed to that. It's incredibly heartening to see. I think we're going to call it a night there, because it is well past my bedtime, but I've now drunk a coffee. So as you can imagine, we're in a difficult situation here, and I'm not quite sure how it's going to pan out. In terms of the stream is back, like I said. So Bastion and Broadcast will be back next week on Tuesday at 9 PM British summertime. I do not know exactly what I'll be doing yet. So as ever, if you have ideas for the stream, you can find me on Twitter and shout them at me at Bastionland. You can go to bastionland.com, where you can find links to the Discord server, where you can come and ask me questions about the stream, or make suggestions, or just talk about the games. You can also, on there, you can find a link to my Patreon if you want to support everything I do. And yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this look through. Hopefully it's inspired you to think about what you can do with Into the Odd or Electric Bastionland, or just what you can make that's been inspired by it. So thanks again. And until next time, I still need to work on my signing off, but I'm going to say goodbye for now.